Hey, welcome. My name's Jordan. I'm a teen services librarian at Hunterdon County, and I'm joined with,
Angie Velasquez, Tech Services.
and we are going to be doing something special here at Hunterdon County this year. We have the 1776 anniversary coming up, 250th anniversary, and we wanted to highlight local resources here in the county, both at the library and then in different departments around here, all relating to Hunterdon County's history during the colonial period. Here at the library, we really like learning things. We like having fun. So we have something special that we're going to be doing. Different staff members are getting together to run a game, kind of using the D&D Dungeons and Dragons rule system. Only it's specialized for colonial America. So there's going to be muskets, there's going to be sabers, there's going to be cavalry charges, lots of political intrigue, and it's all going to be happening here in Hunterdon County and the kind of surrounding environs. But before we get into that, we wanted to introduce folks who might be unfamiliar with what an RPG is. RPG stands for role-playing game, where you as a character, or as a player, take on a character, and you like inhabit the mannerisms, the behaviors, you decide the actions of that character in a setting. That setting can be anything. We're going to be doing colonial America here, but you could do something fantasy with knights and dragons. You could do something with space and spaceships and lasers. You could do something with wild animals, and dinosaurs. The nuts and bolts of an RPG is this. You have a character, you have dice that you roll to modify the actions that you're going to be taking, and you work with your fellow players and the game master, that's a term we'll get into here in a minute, to decide the results of what you do. Now, this all sounds kind of esoteric. We'll give some examples here in just a minute of what that looks like in actual practice. But basically, it's a game that you play with your friends, and you use dice like these to kind of make sense of the decisions and the actions that you take. There's different rule systems. A really famous one, like Dungeons and Dragons here, is kind of spread all throughout the world. And what we're going to be using here at Hunterdon County is this: Nations and Cannons. They kind of riffed off the D&D name and made a setting and rules that kind of simulate what it was like here in America at the 17 to 1800 time period. So rules for cannons, black powder weapons, sailing ships, growing crops. I mean, we do that today, but it was a little different back then without tractors and such. All of those rules are here in this book. It was designed by a company called Flag Bearer Games. They're based here in New Jersey. So big shout out to you guys. Thanks a lot for making this rule system and allowing us to adapt it for our adventures here in Hunterdon County. Now, how do you play an RPG? What do you do? First, you need someone to kind of officiate the game. They're not the boss. They're not the judge. They're not the person who gets final say on things. They're more the person that's kind of helping guide the story. They'll create a scenario, flesh it out. They'll be the adjudicator of different decisions that happen. They help players make sense of their character sheets, and then they run the opposition that the characters are going against. Those people are often called game masters, GM. You might hear other terms for it, but we'll use the word GM for here. And the GM, in this case, it's me for this game, they kind of do a lot of research ahead of time. I've had some just fantastic resources here at the library that we'll be putting on the website so you can look at them and make use of them. You kind of get an idea of a scenario, a situation, read up a little bit about it, and then get a group of players together and let them run through it. Now, talking about players, I'm going to turn it over to Angie and let her describe that side of things.
Yeah, so when you create a character, you can really draw inspiration from just about anywhere. I know some people like to design characters based off of like their favorite characters across like TV shows, movies, books. Personally, when I was making up Nicolette's character, I drew inspiration from like Bridgerton, a random book called Hester that I was reading, and just kind of like the idea of like spies during the war. So like those three things kind of like all came together for my character. But yeah, like you can really just draw inspiration from anywhere, which is really cool. And some people just make them based off of like silly names that they
Yeah, I would say
like,
if you play an exaggerated version of yourself, that's a great place to start. Work with what you know and incorporate things in it. And the really important thing to know about this is it's not really serious. You're here to have fun. You don't have to take on, I mean, I'm wearing the goofy hat, but like you don't have to dress up as characters. You don't have to be a professional actor by any means.
Sometimes it's just the idea of like, what would I do if I was in like a fantasy world or a sci-fi world? So it's like, it could just be you in this world.
You're going to see some really fun examples of the players deciding on, playing themselves or exaggerated versions of themselves. And the decisions that they make in Hunterdon County in 1776 are pretty great. But we'll get to that in a minute. All right. Thank you, Angie. And so we'll kind of give an example now of what it would look like to play a situation. We have Nicolette, Angie's character. Angie, give us like a one-sentence description of who Nicolette is.
Nicolette is a French rogue spy who is really, she just wanted to go back home to France. And the British are, kind of messing that up.
Yes. Okay. So Nicolette, she is living, what is it? French town, I believe it's called Alexandria.
Alexandriaville, I believe.
Alexandriaville?
Yes, Alexandriaville.
I think so. Became French town because of Nicolette. In our fictionalized version of Hunterdon County, she was one of the first French to settle there. All right, so as the GM, I'm going to give a quick scenario here, and Nicolette's going to run us through it. All right, so Angie, you're in Alexandriaville. You have been. You're working at the clothing store because you said you're a seamstress, right? Is your background? Okay, so you're working there. An irate customer comes in. This woman, she's got a lot of money. It's obvious from the dress that she's wearing. She's not wearing the common colonial peasant clothes. Okay. She is very upset that the stitching in her garment is not to the standard that she had. Someone in the town apparently has commented on it. She's coming here to give you an earful. Okay. All right. And she walks, very imperious. Oh. Girl, this is not what I paid for.
Oh my goodness. Je suis désolée, madame. What is the problem?
I said gold thread, and this is clearly copper. I'm not okay with this. I want it done, and I want it at the expense of this establishment.
Madame, we can definitely try and solve that, but I would have to remake the entire garment. The thread runs throughout the whole piece.
That is not my problem. You have my money. I do not have the product I want. Please correct this.
Are there, like, books that I can, like, see, like, her order? Like, see if she had actually requested gold?
Oh, yeah. All right, so, let's go look back at the order. Yeah, sure. All right, so roll me an investigation check to look through this. So what's happening here, folks, is there's different skills that you have. One of those being investigation on the character sheet. We'll give an example of that in a minute. Angie is rolling a 20-sided dice. There's a percentile chance, 1 through 20, that with higher being better, and Angie's aiming for a high score, and she's going to modify that with some of her stats and abilities. You don't have to know that. They're just kind of part of the rules in the system. So, Angie, what did you roll?
I rolled a 19.
19, that's very good.
And I have a, investigation?
Yes.
Plus 2, so I have a 21.
Okay, 21. That is a great roll. With that, Angie, yes, you very quickly pull up this woman's order. Did not specify what thread she wanted in here. She has it fixed in her mind that it was gold. Why copper threading was used, you're not sure about that. But how are you going to handle this? Because if you tell her that she's wrong, she can make your life very difficult for you.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to say, oh, madame, I checked our records. It doesn't look like we wrote it down. I don't know if there was miscommunication. But I think the copper works better with this, like, color that I'm seeing on the rest of the fabric. The gold would have been Too flashy.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not sure. In this light? She like holds it up and she's looking at it. All right, sell it, Angie.
Okay. We can also just, maybe add some different appliques or jewels to make it more cohesive for you.
Okay. Well, roll me a persuasion check, Angie.
Oh, boy.
Try and convince this woman.
That's a 17 plus 4 for persuasion.
All right. You sell a convincing argument for her. She's holding it up in the light. She calls in her maid to look at it as well. The maid like makes eye contact with you, and there's that like the worker kind of connection, and she's like, okay, I'll help you out. She convinces the woman, says it. The woman's like, all right, I like it. I'm going to leave this. Please put those embellishments on it. I'll be back. And in fact, I'll lay a down payment now. She puts £5 on the table and she leaves. Nicely done, Angie.
Perfect.
You have navigated the irate customer. All right, folks, that's just a silly example of kind of what you do. But I'll come up with a scenario as the GM. I present some kind of challenge. This could have been a gang member. There was wild rovers in this area in the time period who were stealing from farmers and such. It could have been one of those people attacking Angie and trying to steal her money. But some kind of challenge, and then it's up to the players to come up with some way to kind of get out of it. And they will roll the dice to determine what happens and use their skills on their character sheets to kind of modify that. If really bad rolls happen, it doesn't go your way. If really good things happen, rolls happen, it does go your way. So there's that kind of tension back and forth sort of there. And again, you can be as exaggerated about it as you want. Angie's great for doing voices and really getting into the character. You can just roll a dice and say, I got a 20. I want to tell the woman that too bad, so sad. And then you kind of navigate that together. But it's collaborative storytelling. That's what we're doing here. You're going to see all of us here in the next couple weeks playing together. And then we're going to have all these resources available here at the library for you yourself, friends, family at home to make use of. And we'd love for you to tell your own stories, share it on social media, let us know about it. And please join us as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Revolution set here in Hunterdon County. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.